Okay, so Trump's motorcade arrived on the tarmac at the Joint Base Andrews, and he is all set. He's boarding the aircraft that is taking him to Alaska. And just ahead of emplaning for Alaska, he just posted a very, very short post on social media as he wrote, in capitals, high stakes, quote unquote, high stakes. Visuals from the air base, and he has just boarded the aircraft, and he is all set to meet Vladimir Putin, and the US president will land at the American air base in Anchorage, the Cold War era American air base after Putin. And this is the breaking news. We have live visuals first on Republic TV as we closely track all the developments from Alaska. US President Donald Trump is all set to depart from Maryland in the United States. He has just boarded that aircraft, and of course we can understand that there is a lot of curiosity, a lot of eagerness across the globe as to what's going to transpire. Trump looks excited. Abhishek Kapoor back with us on the phone line. Abhishek, you know, Trump is boarding the plane, and he has written a very, very short post, and very unlike him, but he has written just two words in capitals, high stakes.
Well, that's typical Trump, and obviously it's stating the obvious, Rakshita, that this is a high-stakes meeting taking place. Because remember, while they're discussing, Ukraine. Ukraine is not there at the table. It's on the table, but it's not at the table. Zelensky is not there. Of course, Trump has qualified that this is the first get-to-know meeting. He's just going to listen. He's just going to, measure Putin, whether he's up to it to deliver on the ceasefire promise, whether he's willing for peace or not, eye-to-eye, face-to-face, because he has been talking to him already on the phone for long conversations. But then this is like a physical meetup where, both sides look into the eye and, look at the intent and measure the seriousness and the depth of understanding from which this whole conversation is going to come from. So I think President Trump there, one has to say that has really seized the initiative because otherwise, with the kind of visceral hate that Europe has for Putin, things would not have moved in terms of, talks for peace. So this is essentially a first step in the direction of first getting a ceasefire going where both the sides stop shooting at each other and then lobbing missiles and drones at each other. And then, of course, ultimately look for the more, look at the more intractable part of the peacemaking, which is a final settlement. The President Zelensky has already expressed his apprehension. He has effectively, denied what Trump wants from Ukrainians, which is that they should agree for a land swap. Trump seems to have, bought into the idea, which is essentially the main Russian ask, that they will keep the Luhansk and the Donetsk republics to the east of Ukraine, as also, of course, Kherson and Zaporizhia, plus, of course, Crimea, which they had taken in 2014. And that's about 1/5 of Ukraine, more than 1/5 of Ukrainian territory. Trump seems to believe that maybe if not the entire claims of Russia, some have to be sort of conceded or acceded to. Ukrainians don't agree at all is what you get to understand if you listen to Zelensky. Trump has in fact countered Zelensky by saying that opinion polls in Ukraine clearly suggest that people are fed up with war, that they're willing to pay a price, and that should lead to some kind of land swap agreement, and Zelensky should come on board, and for which once he has measured Putin and had this dialogue today, which is going to have both the components. One is that they would meet one-on-one restricted meeting between Putin and Trump, and then, of course, the delegation level talk. So once this has happened, Trump has said that he would arrange a meeting between Putin and Zelensky. If need be, he can also be present there, but it would be okay if he's not present. But if he succeeds in nudging the two leaders to be together. And so remember, this is while this is a very significant milestone in the direction of ending war in Europe between Russia and Ukraine, and essentially between Russia and rest of Europe. But this is only just going to be one milestone in a long journey, which is just sort of taking a very high-profile, optics, I would say. So while the stakes are high, Trump has succeeded in raising the optics, the bar of optics, and maybe that might put both the sides under a bit of more pressure to come to an understanding. Because remember, as I was mentioning earlier, Rakshita, this is not the first time that if a ceasefire is agreed, that it would happen. Ceasefire agreements have already happened twice, both in the Istanbul process and the Riyadh process, insofar as the dialogue between Russia and Ukraine is concerned. But it has never got actualized on the ground. It has never become a fact on the ground. And the reason, of course, is because it's so intractable, and Putin won't stop short of anything short of taking full control of the territory that Russia has captured since 2022, and of course, it's absolutely unacceptable from the Ukrainian point of view. So, President Trump now taxiing the Air Force One, and as they say, wheels up for Trump on way to Alaska from Joint Base Andrews in Maryland, which is just an hour's drive from Washington, D.C. And I can see, in fact, just not one aircraft. There's one more. Either it's a dummy aircraft or possibly the rest of the delegation that is traveling with President Trump, about which I mentioned. So I think for the next 6 or 7 hours, this is going to be the focal point of world diplomacy. All eyes on Alaska and on the summit that's going to take place at what is called as Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson at Anchorage.